What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to the Game According to Me. This is wow. This has been what, maybe 2, 3 months? No. It hasn't. And the last one was in early June. We did the podcast to the Jordan Last Dance. So, but it has been a while for a regular podcast, and we are doing the simulcast, but we also doing the video version as well. So this is going to be a vlogcast and also a podcast. So whether you're watching over on YouTube or you're listening on Anchor FM or many other places that you can find your podcast, I appreciate it. And we're going to talk about the update in sports and in wrestling, what's going on in each of these sports as sports are trying to come back from after the coronavirus. And in terms of wrestling, they have continued on since the coronavirus happened. So they have continued on making their doing their due diligence and things like that. Although we had recently had some a little controversy with the WWE, as they guess were not they were not doing the right testing and doing it the right way down there in Florida. And we have come to the final conclusion that at around 24 people, it may be higher even, but at least 24 people that's been reported from the dirt sheets, reported that were tested positive for COVID-19. We've heard three of them. We heard Adam Pierce. We've heard Taylor Braxton, who has it twice actually. She got it once back in March, and then got it again, and got it again recently. And it was rumored that there was a possibility that she was the one that when someone tested positive for it back in March. It was rumored that it was her, and she confirmed it. The rumor that it was her. So it has been her. And it also was Renee Young, who obviously been married to John Moxley, and John Moxley was AEW, cannot appear and will not appear for the next couple of weeks, because obviously he lives with Renee Young, and he might have been positive or anything like that, so he's going to quarantine for a few days. And I think also QT Marshall as well as quarantining because he came into contact with somebody who may have had the coronavirus. So it's going big time everywhere. As they are focusing, both places are focusing on Florida, where the governor weeks back stated that the WWE and sports were essential businesses. So they have been down there doing shows from Florida. And and as of recent weeks, the cases have been rising, and so it is such a big thing about what's going on, rising in many of the places, in Florida, Arizona, and Texas, states where there wasn't a lot of things to begin with, and who knows why? Who knows why? Um, you know, they're now getting their cases, and they didn't have their cases now seem to be like that, and why the cases haven't been done in the past. Who knows why? I don't know if it's because of lax or if it's because of was the start of a second wave or whatever, but whatever it is, it seems to have been. It seems now been affected, and is now probably it's going to probably be interesting to see how all sports deal with this. The NBA bubble is supposed to be in Orlando, Florida, and will that affect them? It will players, star players, superstar players, contract coronavirus as they're trying to start up the NBA. So all of that is going to be something to be thinking about as this happens. But so right now, the WWE and AEW both are continuing on with this with their schedule. They seem to be. I think AEW is doing a live week and then a tape week, a live week and a tape week. And while the WWE are doing they're doing taping shows. Some shows are live to tape where they record it. They record it maybe I would probably say an hour or two before the show actually starts. So actually, the show is actually the show is actually it's almost on tape delay, so to speak, you can say. So, but for me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I think especially with everything that's going on, these shows should be live. These shows should be live. These shows should not be taped. I don't know why these are taping. I don't know why you're taping them and just it doesn't make no sense. These shows are shows. They should be live. And so, but that's another topic for a whole nother day. That's probably for my that to shoot thing that I do on my YouTube channel. So, but yeah. So yeah, we talked about the WWE and AEW, and I think we're going. I'm trying to see. I mentioned the NBA, and maybe let's go on talking about the NBA. Like we talked about them being in a bubble, and they're taking 22 teams. I believe 22 teams they're taking, and they are going to try to like almost have like a fight for who is going to be in the final 2 or 3 spots in each conference. Well, at least in the Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference, I think it's a fight just between for. So like I was saying, they got 22 teams in a bubble in Orlando, and so I think they're gonna have some try to get some playing games going and things like that. They're gonna do like maybe 6 or 7, 8 more games for each team. Um, there's nothing else is on. It's gonna be like it's always gonna be like all throughout the day, which is gonna be very interesting and very fun to watch. So that's gonna be something that's gonna be just I think an incredible time. Um, and then we'll go into the playoffs, and then I have the regular playoffs, and I'm when people talk about the stuff that goes on this year, and what would it be like, and what would it have, and what would it come down to? Excuse me. And listen, I don't know. All teams are going to be healthy more than likely. Zion Williamson, who came in a little bit overweight because of his injury and because of just whatever, seemingly has slimmed down for the Pelicans. John Morant put on muscle. These people are going to be in great shape. A lot of people are going to be in great shape, I think. So some people are pulling out as well. Not only they're pulling out because of the coronavirus, but they are pulling out because of the social unrest um, that is going to be so it is going to be interesting to see what happens and what goes down uh, in Orlando, and see if they can pull it out. See if they can. All of these sports. It's going to be interesting to see if they can pull it out and finish. The rest of their season, or in case in NFL, the whole season. I have to be honest. I've felt that Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association and the National Hockey League, they were. I felt like as much as we would love to see at least Major League Baseball and NBA, we would love to see them come back. It probably would have been better for them to close down shop. It really would have been. It would have been better for them to close down shop. Something like that. So, but they're coming back. They're trying to give the team players entertainment, give people entertainment that they deserve. So, I gonna be honest. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to figure out what what it is and what is happening. And I can't wait to see playoff basketball. I really can't. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see regular season basketball, whatever the regular season is. So, but it's gonna be fun. It really is. Um, Major League Baseball. Now this one was this was now they didn't get started. They were in spring training, obviously, when this whole stuff happened. They were getting ready to do spring training in March when all of this went down with the coronavirus. So they didn't start a season, but they just went ahead and canceled it and said we'll try to play later. And ever since they did that, the owners and the players have been bickering in public over basically over money, and it's turned a lot of people off. And some people have been, exactly behind the players, and they on the owners. Some people are on the owners and on the players, but both of these sides are to blame. The owners are to blame, and the players are to blame. Because this should not have been so damn hard to where you know they were just going back and forth, and it just should have been you know going through the fault in the public. There's no reason for that to have happened. They should have got behind closed doors, get a deal done, and and let it be play. But it's not happened, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the owners wanted to like crush the spirit of the players or something like that, or I don't know if the players were just being unreasonable because there was a clause in the original contract that they agreed to in March. The players organization, the players and the owners. The owners did put a provision in there saying that they could have the opportunity to come back and renegotiate an agreement if they felt like that they wasn't gonna have fans or there wasn't gonna be enough games or whatever. So that's what they did. They chose that, but the players didn't. The players didn't want that. The players said, no, we want to do it on the agreement. But the owners had the right to renegotiate. So, and then the players and the owners didn't want to show anything, and then it was just a whole mess. It's a whole mess. You even had the commissioner, Rod Manfred, go on television one week and one day and say that it was 100% positive that the Major League Baseball was going to play, and then like 3-4 days later, he comes back on ESPN television and says that he doesn't even know if there's going to be a season. So it was god awful. It was such a mess, and and even though they've got their stuff together and they have um and they have done a period of thing. Um, they have done a good thing to get this back together so they can play. They're gonna play 60 games. They're doing all types of weird shit like the universal DH and a runner on second base. In the scenes, and they're gonna have like 60-man squads. Something like that, and it's just gonna be a whole bunch of other stuff. But they're trying to get some games played for some entertainment, and we can see what what really would happen. But a lot of people have said that that the Major League Baseball missed out because for everything that's been going on with Major League Baseball over the past decade, the the average age, it's not getting younger, it's getting older. I mean, it was like it was something, I forget what exactly what year it was, but it was one year in the 2000s where the average age of baseball watchers was like it was like 42, 43, and then 10 years later the average age was 52, 53. Basically meaning that it basically stayed in the same spot. There's really no younger viewers have come in. It's just been the same older viewers who are watching baseball, and they want to get some of the younger attraction. But I think, to be honest with you, I don't know if the younger fans are going to, become entrenched with with Major League Baseball. And I know they want to try to do some things to do it, but it may not just be the sport for them. Major League Baseball just may be a niche sport for them. I don't think and that's okay. It's one of the things that it may just be that way. It's just it's not going to be able to capture the mind, especially in this day and age. Basketball and football are constant, thing. Like it's constant. You know, movement and action, and then you got video games and everything like that. So it just may be that baseball is just on its way to being a niche sport, and that's fine. I don't think I think as long as it's still successful, it still makes money, and other teams still make money, which they still do. Then fine, you just play it. But I'm not sure you need to trick up the game to try and one of the things they were gonna keep was they were gonna keep the bullpen pitcher has to face all three people. You can't face one. Like if you bring in a bullpen person, gets to face three people or get out of the inning or something like that. So like if Clayton Kershaw goes 7 innings, and in the top of the eighth, you get righty, righty, lefty, on the other team, and then Dave Roberts wants to bring in, he has to bring in a pitcher. He can't bring in a righty to face the two righties and then bring in a lefty to face the left-handed batter. He has to bring in a pitcher. The pitcher to face all three guys. That was the rule that came up with before the season started, and they're going to keep that rule intact. And there was a lot of other things as well to try to speed up the game, try to make the game more enjoyable for the younger people to get to it. So I don't know if that would happen or not. I definitely don't know what would happen, but I will say this: if younger people have done without sports, if the younger people are not into Major League Baseball, due to this coronavirus, due to sports being on, if they're not going to be into Major League Baseball now, throughout these next couple months, there's a possibility they never will be. And and Major League Baseball will just have to recognize that that's what it is, and and there's nothing that they can do about it. So that's that. Um, yeah, and then there's NASCAR. I'm not a NASCAR fan. Don't have a lot to talk about NASCAR or golf or anything like that. Any of these other tertiary sports, but let's do talk about Bubba Wallace and what's happened with him over the past months, when all the civil unrest has happened and everything like that. And Bubba Wallace he wanted the Confederate flags to be taken away from NASCAR. NASCAR says that Confederate flags are no longer allowed in a NASCAR event. You can't fly them. You can't have them around. And then you had all of that, and then we had the situation where one of the members of his team found what looked to be like a noose. It turned out to be a door handle fashioned in a noose type manner, and apparently it had been like that since October 29, October of 2019. It's been like that, and so it wasn't just done that way for and for Bubba Wallace, and it's been in that same garage that way since October 2019. And unfortunately, Bubba Wallace crew had that thing, he had the thing, and of course that set off a huge thing, and I will say this, while yes, possibly NASCAR could have waited until they done their investigation, until the FBI done their investigation to figure out, before it would have done. Um, to figure out what was the what was going on, right? And even though they could have done that and they could have did it, I don't know how you could blame NASCAR, Bubba Wallace, or anybody for sinking. Just with what has gone on in the past 3 months, and on all of those things that are happening, we have these suspicious hangings of black men, all across the country, and we, being hung, and then we've got, it being in the South. It was Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We've got all of these things going on, and Bubba Wallace is trying to get rid of the Confederate flags. We got a NASCAR truck driver retiring because he wants to see the Confederate flag. Doesn't like the way NASCAR is going, and all of this, and when all of this happens, it's you can't blame somebody for adding 2 plus 2 equals 4. And it's the all saying, putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4. Or, you know, seeing something that's walking like a duck and quacking like a duck, and looking like a duck, and thinking it's a duck, you know. These are the one, and this was the one time when, yeah, 2 plus 2 was actually 5. And that wasn't a duck, that was a chicken. And any of the other sayings, right? Any of the other sayings, um, and all of that, all of that was there. And there was one time, and then of course you've got the people, mainly on the right, who then wants to say it's a hoax, and it was a hoax, and it was Bubba Wallace, and you had Bubba hoax trending. You had people calling him Bubba Smollett. This was not Jussie Smollett. This was not something, where it was investigated, and it came back to like the Jussie Smollett thing, where it came back to Jussie Smollett actually being the behind it. This was not something where Bubba Wallace was behind it. NASCAR was behind it. This was 2019. This was the 2019 thing. October 2019. So this is not a hoax. This is not, them trying to like get more sympathy or anything like that. But of course, the people on the right, that's what they want to do. The people on the right, they want to, you know. Well, I'm not gonna go into that. I may do that video one day or the other. Talk about the left versus the right. I may do that video one day. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, but this is not the time. This is just about sports. And although these things that are going on, the coronavirus, the social unrest, it is affecting the sports. It is. And but yeah, that's what was happening in NASCAR. To talk about golf, many of the golfers have been tested and are being the golfers back and being tested for coronavirus and things like that. Some have been found positive, some have been not found negative, but are still pulling out of things because of conditions or for whatever reasons, their caddies or anything like that. So that's happening. Both men's and women's soccer are back. They are playing. So we have that going on. If you're a soccer fan, we have that. Um, but the biggest things are the college and pro football, right? How is this going to be affected? Um, will college football even play? I mean, think about it. We think about college football, and you think about what the NBA is doing, being in a bubble, and what Major League Baseball is doing, and what they're doing, and what's going on with like the NHL. They've got a hub city. They're gonna have one or two hub cities. They look like they're both gonna be in Toronto because of they can't have people. Toronto's not gonna be able to have or whatever it is. But it's gonna be in Toronto and Edmonton. So all this. So and then you have college sport, and then you have these hundreds and thousands, hundred thousand seat stadiums all over the country, and then you have these college football programs that at times have hundreds of kids. They have over 100 students, 100 student athletes. And then you have all of the coaches and water people and things like that. And all of these people, and how does college football, and I just don't know. I don't know. And to be honest with you, as much as I love college football and I would want to see it happen, if they decided not to do it this year, or if they went, there's also been something about maybe pushing it until the spring, and playing college football in the spring. If they did that, you know, that would be that would be something to think about. But I'm not. I don't need college football to be played this fall. I don't. I don't. However, the NFL, however, I do need to be playing, and I'm not sure necessarily why. Why I guess I know why. It's probably about me being selfish, basically, because I love the National Football League, and I would love to have. I need my Sundays in the fall to be filled with football. I need it, and as much as I need I like my Saturdays to have football. I guess I don't need it because you can do other things, but I need my Sundays. I need my NFL fix. But listen, there are things that I'm worried about NFL as well. If there is going to be a second wave that happens in the fall, teams could be they could be, taken out. You know, especially in these places the Texas, Dallas, and Houston, and in Florida, the Buccaneers, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, Arizona, the Cardinals, and any other places that could pop up as hot spots. you know, one person goes out and gets infected and brings it back to the team, and then the whole team is infected. Then that team is played for team. That team doesn't know it, and it affects that other team, and then so it could wipe out the entire NFL, and that's the biggest worry because again, as a football fan, I I don't know what I want to do. First and foremost comes the healthy, and I want everybody to be healthy, for everybody to be safe. But yes, I do want to watch football. I want to be able to know that I can on Sunday morning I can turn on and watch ESPN Countdown. I can watch Fox Sunday Countdown. I can watch the NFL Network's Sunday morning game show, not game show, Sunday morning pregame show, and then I can watch the football season happen in real time. So that's that's something that's going to happen with that. Uh, that being said, we had some breaking news over the last week talking about NFL. First of all, Cam Newton is now a New England Patriot after being released by the Panthers. He's now a Patriot. He's got a minimum contract. He's got a whole bunch of incentives that he can be paid up to 7.5 million, but he's only going to be paid $500,000 uh, guaranteed. Uh, There's still a good shot that Jared Stidham, who was going to be the starter, still might be the starter, but I think that Cam could possibly take over. Week 2, week 3, week 4, whenever, if or even week 1 if Jared Stidham does not play well. I think that's it. I don't think the job is just Cam's to go in there and take. I think it will be a competition. I think Jared Stidham has been there. He knows the offense already there. And I think that I think that's going to be interesting. But if Cam is healthy and Cam is in the right mindset, I think they could be very, very interested with them. I think a lot of us would have gone with the Buffalo Bills, and we still might. I mean, they've already canceled 2 preseason games, so I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure what is going to happen, but um, at this point, I really need to see. Obviously, long time viewers on here on YouTube, and those y'all on the podcast, listen to on the podcast version. I do a pre-show. I do a like a predictions show at the beginning of each and every season. And I'm gonna do one this year, and my predictions right now, I'm honestly still thinking at this point it might be Buffalo, but we'll have to wait and see if Cam becomes a starter. We'll have to wait and see on a lot of things. But it is a very, very interesting thing that Cam Newton now goes to New England, and how is that, and how will that work out, and how things may happen with that. And over the last couple of days, breaking news. You get some today, as of this recording today. This is 2:30 Eastern time on July 3rd. This recording. I have no idea when I'm gonna post this on both on YouTube and on and in the audio for the thing. But we're getting comments, and we're getting things about um, um, Daniel Snyder and the Redskins looking to possibly change his name. One of the things that has happened with this social unrest is that people who feel like um, people who feel like things are insensitive, racist, even, don't let it, like the Confederate flag, like some of the statues of Confederate uh, generals or army members or things like that, or even so much so maybe of Christopher Columbus, who founded America. And people will say, well, how can you find something that you know you can find something that was already here and already had people here, things like that, whatever. These are being, turned down, defaced, and everything like that. Mississippi still, Mississippi is still the only state to have the Confederate flag, a part of their flag, and they voted recently to have that be taken down. So, and now we're talking about the Washington Redskins, right? And the Redskins is considered to be a slur against Indians. Um, and there has been last couple of days been a push to get the Washington Redskins name to be basically changed. And last night, two big things happened. FedEx said that who is this name of who is the name on the stadium that the Redskins play in, and also the FedEx CEO is also a minority owner of with the Redskins. You come out and they've asked the Redskins to change their name. Nike took apparently took everything out of that had anything to do with Redskins off their website. You go on the Nike.com and look for Redskins, you'll find nothing. Nothing. No apparel, nothing. So that is that. And then it was broken today that news broke that the Redskins will be looking into reviewing the name change. They will look into changing the name of the team. And even so, Stephen A. was on First Take, and he said that that not only are they looking into it, if they're going to do it, and they're going to do it before the season starts. And to me, listen, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not Indian, so I don't have any. It doesn't affect me at all, not so bit. To the Redskins or not. Now there are tons of data out there that states that 90% of Native Americans are not they're not hurt by the name Redskins. The Redskins have a video out where everybody says that they're okay with the Redskins name. So again, I'm not sure what actual Native Americans think about that. I don't know. I don't know if that's propaganda done by the Redskins. I mean, one of them, about the 90% was done by the Washington Post. They asked the Native Americans what they heard, and they said no. Um, but I don't think that. Again, I don't necessarily know if changing the name, if it really hurts anybody. If you are if you are that upset, it doesn't change the history, right? You still won 3 Super Bowls, right? The Washington franchise will still have won 3 Super Bowls. The Washington franchise um, will still have one of the great receivers of all time in Art Monk. The Washington Redskins will still have one of the great offensive lines in the Hogs. They still would have that. They still will have so much history of being in the National Football League. So that doesn't change. It's not like they're just erasing that in history. They're just taking the name off of the team. You're not. You just won't be the Redskins anymore. It'll be It'll be something else. And so, but I don't know. But again, I think it'll probably be more. It probably will be more more people on the right side of the aisle who vote towards that aisle, who would probably be more against that than who more be against that than they will be anything else. So, um, and with that being said, that also leads to be what 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 goes for others. And I was seeing things on Twitter, the Indians and the Braves and things like that. The Chicago Blackhawks. Now, I will say this: I don't think the Atlanta Braves need to change their name. I don't think the Cleveland Indians need to change their name. There's probably, and this has been a long time coming. Probably they probably would need to change their logo. The Indians will. The Indians will probably need to change the logo because it's this big red-faced guy, and it's a caricature of a Indian, and I think for the longest time they've talked about that logo being insensitive. So they probably need to change that logo to Chief Wahoo. You had the Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks of the Hockey League. They have a Native American as their logo. I don't think the Blackhawks doesn't need to change their name, but I think they might have to change their logo as well. Um, so it's things are changing. Things are changing in the world of sports. Probably for the better. We'll have to wait and see, but probably for the better. And and it's all happening so quickly, your head spins. Um, and then once again to go back to NFL, what else is trending is boycott NFL, and the reason why that is trending is because apparently NFL yesterday said that the first week they are going to be playing the black national anthem of "Lift Every Voice and Sing." They're going to be playing that before they play the national anthem, and there are people who are upset that okay, well, they're playing the black anthem, so what's the white national, and they're getting upset. And in this case, I have a I would agree with some of those people who are not boycotting NFL. I think that's really stupid. Again, you cutting off your nose, despite your face. The NFL is the best entertainment product per dollar spent out there, and you're gonna boycott it. You know, you're gonna boycott the best entertainment product out there because, you know, someone's they're gonna play, lift their voice and sing, or they're gonna kneel for the anthem. I think that's pretty stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I do think that's. I will say this: having a black national anthem divides is divisive in itself. It is. It just is, and you know because once again that saying that that's like again trying not to get too political. But when you talk about this, you can't help but some things are political. But yeah, it's just divisive. It's going to divide people, and that's not something that really should be happening. And also you can also argue that okay, what the fuck is playing the lift every voice and sing? What is that really going to do for social justice? What is that going to help stop white people from killing black people? No, it's not. Neither is protesting. That's not gonna stop it either. Neither is taking black people who did blackface off of television, off of TV shows, and that's not gonna stop that either. But that's neither here nor there. Again, that's I'm not trying to keep this to sports, but you know where I'm going here. That's not really gonna help the systematic injustice that happens in our country. So, but whatever, whatever. Um, but yeah, I think I've kind of gone over everything I wanted to go over in this kind of update podcast vlogcast. The WWE, Major League Baseball, the NBA, talked about NASCAR and stuff that happened with Bubba Wallace. Talked about the NFL and yeah, I talked about some other stuff as well. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it. I just I wanted to come here and I wanted to do this. I know we ain't done it a long time, so I thought this would be cool as we are less than a month away from it starting. If it does start, there some people think that basketball won't start, that Major League Baseball won't start, or they won't even finish, and of course some people think that neither will the National Football League. So, that they've already canceled two pregame, two preseason games, and they canceled the Hall of Fame game. Oh, that was actually done by Canton, not necessarily the NFL. But whatever, we'll just have to wait and see what all goes down and what can be shown. If stuff happens, I'll be so happy to watch it and so happy to enjoy it, and hopefully everything can be finished and everybody can stay safe and no super tragedies and anything like that. All right, y'all. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, yes, please make sure if you're on Anchor FM, make sure that you make sure if you like what you hear, you become a subscriber. 3 tiers: 99 cents, $4.99, and $9.99, and you can help support your boy. Um, Continue on doing what he's doing. Any support you give, I appreciate it. I appreciate it enough, so much. Also, you can go to patreon.com/ADTrip to become a patron. And there are also 3 tiers. And once I get to a certain amount of patrons, I will open things up for vote and for um, kind of things where you can choose what you want to see on my YouTube channel, what you want to hear me talk about on the podcast, and what you want to see me play video game wise on my Twitch channel. So make sure you have all of that, and yes, and make sure that wherever you're listening to me on, make sure you always hit that button to subscribe to my podcast or whatever it is, and I just appreciate you listening. And those you guys watching on YouTube now, you can post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think about anything I've talked about from the WWE, with Major League Baseball, with the NBA, with the NBA, NFL, with NASCAR, anything. Let me know if you guys think we're even going to have any of these seasons. Whether the coronavirus is going to wipe out everything. Let me know down in the comment section. Make sure you like the video, you share the video, you subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Podcasters, thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy, AJ Tripp, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.